Yo, super y'all boys and girls, man. Hey, Jay Briggs here on a Friday. Got my guy Chris Ruffalo with me today, man. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing all right, man. I had so much fun the first time. Told you I had to come back. Was going to be a regular. I told you I was actually going to come by earlier in the week, but I'm telling you, man, it's like the hottest club in town right now. It's hard to get into, hard to find a spot unless you grease the bouncer a little bit. It's a popular joint, but hey, I'm happy to be here.
For sure, man. For sure, man. If y'all don't know, Chris is a part-time comedian, man. So
Well, the part time because people are like, oh, you do stand up. I'm like, no, I do sit down.
So Chris, man, y'all might hear me laughing and giggling all show, man. But still trying to get to some money on a Friday, man. We got a huge card. I'm ready to try to smash it. The last few days for me haven't been the best. I know that. Y'all know that. But we're here ready to make some money on a Friday. We can head right in, man. We can head out straight to Boston. We got the Pacers coming in. Boston laying 11.5 in this one. I'm looking at their injury report. I'm still seeing questionable for Halliburton. He did participate in shoot around today. How you feeling about this one?
I think that's the news that is going to hinge on my pick for this game. If Halliburton goes, I know we always talk about getting a star player back in the lineup after a long layoff with injury and how it could throw off chemistry or something like that. But if the Pacers can get Halliburton back, I think that's a massive boost to their lineup, and it would make me feel a lot better about taking the Pacers and the points here. The Celtics and their inconsistencies, I don't feel like laying, you know, 12, 11 and a half, 12 with this Celtics team, even though they are coming off of that impressive win in Sacramento. Um, for me personally, if I were to bet this game, it would be Pacers or nothing, and I would feel a lot better about the Pacers, like I said, if I had Halliburton here, though.
For sure. I definitely see that. Me, I lean Celtics in this one. I hope that the news of Halliburton, I hope he don't play.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't play, but he did participate in shoot around, so that is looking quite good for Pacers backers tonight. It's a tight one, like you said. Boston, they have been inconsistent. We've seen them look good in games like they did in their last one in Sacramento, but we've also seen them lose to the Rockets recently. So,
And
what Celtics team is going to show up?
and that's the thing. You made a great point. Which Celtics team is going to show up? I mean, is it the Celtics team, like you said, lost to Houston on the road? And I mean, even if you go back to some of their more recent home games. They lost by double digits to the Nets as a double-digit favorite. They've lost to the Magic in back-to-back home games earlier this season. That's kind of where it stems for me with the Celtics. It's just hard to trust them laying a big number at home because they've fallen on their face flat more often than not this season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely can see it. I want to see that news with Halliburton. I still lean Celtics, though, me personally. Yeah. I think they could possibly get them pretty good. We'll see. I haven't bet them quite yet. I'm really waiting on that news. So if I do end up betting it, guys, I'll tweet it out. Let y'all know on that one for me. We can head out to our next one, Chris. We got the Wizards laying 8 on the Spurs on the jam session this morning. I pretty much skipped it. I didn't even give a side. I'm pretty much still feeling the same way about this one. I'm not betting this game. You got any opinion on this one?
Yeah, so you're pulling a Mavs Warriors on this game too, huh?
Man, that was a true accident. That's the thing. That was a true accident.
that's gonna stick with you for a little bit. I'll tell you right now. I said it on the morning show. If there was one way for me to bet this game personally, I'm with you. I'm not probably going anywhere near this thing. But if I were to, I'd probably take the under. It's just really, really hard to feel good about the Spurs right now, given that they put up 94 and 84 in their last 2 road games. I don't expect the Wizards to maybe shut down the Spurs necessarily. But 227.5 for these two teams just feels way too high for me, even though we've talked about a lack of defense on both sides as well this season. I think you could make the case just across the board for or against anything in this game. So I'm with you. I'd probably a no play for me, but if anything, I'd probably take the under.
As I'm looking at it, if I were to lean anywhere, Chris, I kind of like that under right there with you. Especially the Wizards, their top 2 guys are not going to play tonight, Bradley Beal and Kuzma. So, let's see, what is Beal averaging? 23 points from Beal.
22, I think, from Kuzma or something like that.
21.2 from Kuzma. So You know, they only put up 104 in their last one, 112 the game before. I could see this one being low scoring. The Spurs did give up quite a few points to the Milwaukee Bucks, but we just talked about the Wizards. I don't think they could really exploit that. I lean toward under in this one. Oh, I did give out a play in this game, guys. It's a tough one for me, man. I'm probably even not going to bet that game. I don't even want to just be having to think about the Spurs Wizards tonight on a Friday.
Can't blame you.
Yeah, man. And a lot of action. We got college hoops tonight. Got my Texas boys in action. Got 9 other NBA games. It's just much better places for me to be.
Yeah. That's the 1-800 hotline game if you're on the Spurs or the Wizards in that game.
Facts. Head out to our next one. We got the Raptors laying a touchdown and a half on the Pistons at home. They have been playing better at home. They did lose outright in their last one to the Pacers as huge favorites. I was on them and laying all those points in that one, so I was really disappointed. But I do understand why the line is where it's at in this one, Chris. And to be honest, I don't like betting this Raptors team very much, but I do lean their direction in this one. How you feeling?
Yeah, this is going to be my Spurs Wizards here. I'm probably not betting this game at all. This number just makes it almost, I don't want to say impossible because nothing's impossible, especially in today's NBA, but this number almost makes it impossible to bet. The problem is that there is a level of familiarity to go off of with the Pistons with this kind of number. I mean, they are 1-3 against the number between 12 and 12.5 and 14.5 this season. They're 0-2 against the spread when they're getting at least 15. So if this number trends Toronto's direction, you could maybe even make the case for Toronto. But after that Pacers performance, it's really hard for me to feel good about laying 14.5 with Toronto, even though we have seen them, like you mentioned, put up some dominant performances before the loss to the Pacers. Their previous 3 wins at home had all come by 15 plus. So yeah, this is probably a no play for me, but I'm with you. I would lean Raptors if anything.
I'm leaning in there too, man. I don't, like you said, I look at it, and all 3 meetings between these two teams have been competitive. 4-point loss, 1-point loss, and a 4-point loss for the Pistons. Raptors won all 3, but they were all tight. But, the Pistons, I don't even want to, it's the Pistons. They just got hammered by Atlanta. They lost and failed to cover even against Miami, the worst cover team in the entire NBA. The Nuggets are struggling and still managed to win and cover. Won that one by 19. Their last 4, they've been beaten by double digits. And, 3 of those were by 15 plus. Could I see the Raptors doing it tonight? Yes. Do I necessarily want to bet that they do it? I don't know. Lean Raptors right now. That's what I'll say. I lean that direction.
You know what? Looking at it now, this even has shifted more towards a no play for me, and I'm not trying to skimp off of it, but I mean, I'm just looking at it now. The Pistons 9-0 against the spread in the last 9 meetings, but again, look at the injury report. Like you were saying, no Magruder. Let's just look at the Pistons, right? No Magruder. Livers is probable. Durant is questionable. Bogdanovich out. Burks out. Stewart out. Diallo out. And for the Raptors, I mean, Scotty Barnes questionable. Precious Achiuwa questionable. So
Gary Trent.
Gary Trent Jr. questionable. This is shifted to a no play for me.
Yep, I'm pretty much there with you too. I still like in a small lean Raptors, but I don't really want to bet them at that huge number.
If you put a gun to my head and said I had to pick something, would probably say Raptors. But other than that, if I have a choice in this matter, no. Yeah, I'm putting my money elsewhere. Yep,
I told them this morning on my morning gym session, man. I don't think we've had another day like this where we've had so many double-digit favorites. Like, it's a lot today because we go out to our next one. We got the Grizzlies laying 13 on the Rockets. They were laying a similar number the other day. They only won it by 5. Rockets got the cover. Do they do it again in this one or what?
I think they do. I think the Rockets are, a live dog with the points in this one. Don't think they win it outright, but it's just there's just too much volatility here, too much variance with me with the Grizzlies. to feel good about laying 12.5 points, especially when a lot of times in these home and home back-to-back rematch situations that we've seen this season, there isn't necessarily enough of an adjustment from the first meeting to suggest that we see anything different in the second meeting. The Grizzlies right now, I think, are just worried about making sure they lock up their playoff positioning. Not necessarily worried about style points here. They're 2 games up on the on the Kings for second in the West. Don't think they're going to be able to catch the Denver Nuggets. Like I said, this is just about getting in and getting out with the victory. I don't think it's about style points here with the Grizzlies over the Kings. I think it's also about implementing Ja Morant back into the lineup as comfortably as possible. And whether that means you take your lumps and not necessarily win by 13 points, I think there's bigger fish to fry here for the Memphis Grizzlies. So I like the Rockets plus the points.
I'm with you in this one, Chris. I like the Rockets plus the points in this one as well. Dylan Brooks also did not play in that game the other night against the Rockets. He was suspended due to technical fouls. He's back in this one tonight, so this is the healthiest we've seen the Grizzlies in a minute. But I don't think it's going to be peaches and cream. I think it's going to be kind of clunky. A lot of one ball, a lot of guys to go around over there. Guys that have gotten comfortable playing a certain way. I'm interested to see if these guys come out here and blow them out. I think the Rockets, they've been sneaky competitive since the All-Star break, man. I kind of like this Rockets team as a sneaky dog most nights, and I think they can keep this one competitive again in Memphis. When I look at it, they kept the first one competitive the first time. Granted, that was really early in the season on the 21st of October, but it was a 7-point cover for them. The line in that game was actually the game pushed. And they didn't cover. The game pushed. The Grizzlies were laying 7, so it pushed. And then Memphis did hammer them in Houston. That was a weird spot. And then the Rockets covered the other night. I don't think the Grizzlies blow them out tonight. I know the Grizzlies go stupid, dummy crazy at home. We like the Grizzlies at home, but 13 I think is slightly too much. I think we're looking at a 9 to 10 point win, Chris, and Rockets probably catch that back door.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned just how sneaky good and sneaky competitive the Rockets have been the last few weeks. I mean, like we said, they covered against Memphis last time, and if you go back to that game against Golden State, that game was tied through 3 quarters. So they were right there with the Warriors even at home. They just sort of fell apart late, and I think that game was a lot closer than that final score indicates. So, yeah, I'm with you. I just like them to be competitive here. Don't think they win the game. I think this one goes to Memphis here, but yeah, I think they keep it a little bit closer than that line would indicate.
Shorty. We got another huge line, this time with my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks, the second worst covered team in the entire NBA. Hornets coming in, though. Hornets are really struggling right now. Is this a bounce back game for my Mavericks, Chris, or in typical Mavs fashion, do they find a way not to cover this basketball game?
You took the words out of my mouth. I don't know, because typical Mavs fashion would say that they should win this game. They should win this game handily, but would they kind of fall flat on their face? I mean, look at the Mavs, this season when they're laying between 5 and 12 points. I know this line has gone past that, but as a decent-sized favorite this year, the Mavs just 5, 22, and 1 against the spread. So it makes it hard to feel good about laying this kind of number. Granted, Luka being back does help. You'd like to see Kyrie Irving step in the lineup, but the Hornets have been that bad that I could see that the Mavs covering this number.
You got any recent update on Kyrie? I'm just seeing questionable.
I'm still seeing questionable as well. Let me check one other source. But I think if anything, if I'm going to bet this one, I'm probably going to look at the over.
Okay.
I don't see a ton of defense being played here. Wouldn't surprise. What do you have what the totals are right now?
I'm saying 227.
Yeah, I would think that the Mavs could potentially get us the majority of the way there on their own. I mean, I could see the Mavs getting close to 125, 130 in this game. The Hornets, despite their struggles, are good enough to get 100, especially with sometimes the way that the Mavs like to nod off a little bit defensively. So, I would lean towards the over here. Let's see injuries.
For Shody. I'm taking my Mavs tonight. I'm laying 14.5. It's nothing new. I kind of sound like a broken record. This team is hurting my pockets, man. It should have got a win the other night. It was kind of ridiculous that we didn't. But in that same breath, if there's a bounce back game, if there's a spot where my Mavs should blow out a team and look dominant, it's tonight against the Hornets. I think this is a 20-point win, me personally. I think it's a 20-point win. I think we finally look good, finally with some health, win this game by 20 points tonight. Now, am I advising a lot of y'all to go bet this team? No, I'm not. As I try to explain to y'all that they're the second worst cover team in the NBA, that they, in typical Mavs fashion, will be up and find a way to lose basketball games. There's been plenty of times we have been up 20, found a way to lose. There's been plenty of times where we have been up 15-14, fail to cover. For sure win the game tonight. I'm laying the 14.5. I think we win by 20. I don't like the situation for the Hornets coming to this one on a back-to-back after getting beat pretty handily yesterday by the Pelicans on the road, 115-96. They've lost 4 of their last 5. You know, they got hammered by Philly. They got hammered by Cleveland. And that was at home. They're on the road, man. I think the Mavs win this one by 20 points. I really do. Will they get it done? Yet to be seen. But that's how I feel, honestly. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new for Kyrie. I'm still seeing questionable. I tried to check if he was at shoot around. Haven't seen anything. So I don't even know if they've done shoot around yet. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I'm not seeing any new updates for Kyrie here.
For sure. Head out to our next one. I'm surprised this line isn't double digits. We got the Milwaukee Bucks laying 9 on the Utah Jazz. It's in Utah, so I guess that's why it's not double digits. But at the same time, I'm seeing no Clarkson, no Markkanen, no Rudy Gay. Can you back the Utah Jazz in this spot?
To be honest with you, this would have been a premium play if I could have got there. I was probably, if we're talking about scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a premium, I was probably at a 9 on the Milwaukee Bucks here.
Me too. And I'm kind of mad. I'm in the exact same boat with you. I should have had the Bucks in as a premium today. I do not. And I'm kind of mad at myself for not having it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's.
And you want to know why I don't? You want to know why? Utah as a home underdog is 9-2 this season. That's why.
Yeah. No, I get it. But how many of those games had Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson?
Exactly. And that's why I'm kicking myself. Milwaukee should stomp these boys tonight. They should do it.
I think, the thing that kind of held me back was that how many times have we seen it this season where a team is missing their 2 or 3 top scorers at the very least and almost essentially fielding a G League team, and they've shown up and played and sometimes won the game outright. I think that's sort of where my hesitation came from. I don't necessarily think that happens here. I think that the Bucks are the far better team. They're the far healthier team. The only guys I've seen on the injury report for the Bucks are sort of just role players, like never mind. I update that now. Chris Middleton out with a knee issue, but even then, Giannis has been able to put the Bucks on his back time and time again this season. I still think I would stick with the Bucks by double digits here. To me, it's just maybe more of a fade of the Jazz than anything else. And just, the missing pieces for the Jazz. I mean, we're talking about 2 double-digit scorers sorry, I should say not double-digit, 2 20-plus point scorers for the Jazz missing, including Markkanen, who's putting up almost 26 a game. So, yeah, I would still stick with the Bucks here.
I'm with the Bucks with you in this one, man. I'm still kicking myself, and it's not a premium. I'm kind of surprised that the Jazz are in this situation with the play-in tournament situation they're in. But I guess Clarkson, I'm seeing finger injury, so I guess his finger injury is pretty bad. And Markkanen got a hand injury, so pretty interesting. They're currently 2 games under 500. Let's see, where are they in the standings? Are they the outside looking in?
The Jazz are right in the mix in that play in the West.
Yeah, they're currently in that 12th spot. I don't think they get in. I don't. Right now, the Pelicans are done snuck their way back in. My Thunder buddies getting back in there, though. They're in the 11th spot. They're getting in. Well, I don't think the Pelicans make it.
No, that's what we're talking about, though. You look at just how many games separates, 7 through 12, one game.
One game.
So it's a win, from Utah could vault them as high as 7th or 8th just tonight alone, just based on the results of the rest of the league. So, I'm seeing, I'm looking at just some of the comments, and I'm seeing, the potential of a trap game here, and the Bucks have won just one time in Utah in the last 20 years. But the thing for me here is that, and this is something Jay and I have talked about before, is that I have a hard time sometimes buying into older trends, because especially this year with the Utah Jazz, because remember, this is the first year that we've seen this major combination of the pieces that the Jazz have. A lot of the past trends you're talking about have Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, have Rudy Gobert in the lineup, have other pieces that may not even have Giannis in the lineup. I mean, go back, the Bucks, it says here 4-17 in the last 21 meetings against the spread in Utah. So it's like, yeah, the Bucks have struggled in the past, but go back with that kind of sample size with
Eastern Conference team versus a Western Conference team,
where they're playing twice a year, once in Utah.
Yeah, I get it.
Where the Bucks have been, the Bucks at one point were a joke in the Eastern Conference. So you go back that far, of course the numbers are going to look how they are. But I just think that with Giannis, you're always going to have a chance.
Shorty, I'm on the Bucks. I like that. The main pieces, the main guys that have been in there, the staples. Giannis is in there. Holiday's in there. Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is really good. I don't think people understand how good he is and how much he fits perfectly with that team, man. And I think they have enough to win that one by double digits. It's the Bucks, man. They've been rolling sneakily. They've been rolling, and you better watch out. Giannis might get another chip this year in a wide open NBA. I think this is one of the most wide open years we've had in years past. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I can't call it right now. I really can't. I can't call
it. Yeah, Brook Lopez too worried about living at Disneyland.
I did see that. That's crazy. I didn't even when you got millions from the NBA. I guess you could just do whatever.
I just wouldn't have thought Disneyland. I mean, I know he's a Californian.
A guy like him, exactly, to stay at Disneyland. That's crazy.
Just imagine Brook Lopez walking around with those Mickey Mouse ears.
Right.
That's what I keep picturing. Just Brook Lopez walking around, his big 7-foot ass, just walking around past Space Mountain. He's just got these big ass Mickey Mouse ears on his head. Or he's got the regular size Mickey Mouse ears, and they're just sticking a little top hat on the top of his head.
His big 7-foot ass.
Sorry, it's me being less than 6 foot. It's that's the only way I can really describe it.
No, I'm already knowing, man. I'm already knowing. I think this next game we're about to talk about, Chris, is the most interesting game on the board.
Yeah.
I don't have it as a premium because they are playing games with this roster. What's up? Do you think James Harden and Embiid play tonight, or do you think they sit? That's where we got to start first before I can handicap the game.
Now, okay, this is my stance on it. Am I somebody who believes that obviously the injuries are factored into the line? Sure, but does the line dictate whether these guys play or not? It's hard because we can always talk about how injuries are baked into the line when guys we know are out, but questionable is a whole different thing. Would I hope that they would play? Yes. Do I think they play? I think this is the definition of the word questionable, because I could see it where, you want to have Joel Embiid in a marquee primetime spot, but he's also been dealing with a nagging calf issue. James Harden, he's popped up on the injury report the last couple games. So could I see it? Of course I could. But I'm still probably sticking with the Warriors here, because the Warriors are, I don't want to say the more proven team, but they're the team that we know more about with certainty. we don't see Klay Thompson or Steph Curry or Jordan Poole or Draymond on the injury report. And when those guys are healthy, we've seen this is a team that can beat the Milwaukee Bucks that we just mentioned. They can beat Milwaukee at home and get the cover at home. They're a completely different team at home. And I think that
in the rim.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if you don't have Embiid or Harden, it only goes to further the point that the Warriors are the play here. And if they confirm that those guys are out, this number is not going to be there. So I think that if you're going to back the Warriors, you do it now, because the closer we get to tip off, as soon as if those guys are announced that they're not playing, yeah, that number is going to shoot up to probably 6.5 or 7.
Yeah. I've been kicking myself about this one all day. I haven't betted. So this morning on the gym session, I pretty much guaranteed that Harden and Embiid were going to play. Now, at this current time of day, I thought they would have been listed. It's 3:30. The game is at 9, so it is still quite a bit of time left before we get some news. I think they play, man. I'm with the guys in the comments with like Richard, man. Embiid needs this MVP. He wants this MVP. And it's no better spot than on the road against the defending champs on a Friday night on national television. It's no better spot than to make your campaign for MVP. And on that alone, I think Embiid plays. Harden, yeah, I can buy into Harden being questionable. I can. But I think he plays tonight too. If I could bet right now, do they play or do they not play, I would tell y'all, go bet they play. Could I be wrong? Of course, just like anything else, I could be wrong. So that's why I haven't bet Golden State yet, because I wanted them guys to play in that line to drop, and I was going to take Golden State with that heartbeat. I think Golden State does win this game. We love Golden State at home. On the road, we fade Golden State with damn near every chance we get. I can't believe they're so night and day. It's almost unbelievable. But I'm with you, Chris. I guess I just get in there now. And then, they still are the best home cover team in the league. So laying 5 is not, the worst place to be. It's not. They can still win this game by the 5. I just wanted the best number. So 24, 11, and 1, that's league best. They've covered in 68.6% of their home games. I could still see them winning by the 5. I just wanted the best number, but Golden State is the side definitely for me in this one. Yeah,
I just think that if Embiid plays, this number probably sticks where it is, or maybe drops a point at most.
Think so? I think if Embiid plays, we go to 2.5. I think so. I think there's a lot of Sixers money that's waiting on Embiid. People love their Sixers. They love them some Embiid.
Yeah, no,
and they're hot. Sixers have been playing really good.
No, that's true. You know what? Maybe I could see it dropping to 3.
Yeah.
But again, I think that it's tough. I mean, like I said, I think if he doesn't play, this is when you want to get in. This is where, anyone who's betting on this game, you got to use your judgment.
Yep.
Because if you think that, like Jay said, we can speculate about this all we want. The reality is that we are not Joel Embiid, and we're not the Sixers medical staff, so we can't tell you if he's going to play or not. Right. But this is where you have to make that decision. If you think he plays, maybe you wait, but then you run the risk that if it's a late announcement that he doesn't play, you might get stuck. Yep. If you want the Warriors that badly and you want them now,
you get in.
You get in while you get in while you can. So I'm personally probably going to get in with the Warriors at this number and bite the bullet if he plays.
Yes, sir. I'm probably right there with you. I'll probably get in right after the show, me personally.
Yeah.
Question: is there any other sport that holds us hostage like the NBA with these injuries?
No, not like this. There are sports that hold us hostage, like for example, the NHL. Not announcing goaltenders until like a couple hours before, and I've had that happen to me multiple times this season. Where
I'm not the biggest hockey guy. I'm gonna be honest. So
yeah.
Do the goalie matters that much? You think in hockey matches?
To an extent.
Yeah.
I think it's because obviously, you want the best of the best in playing, multiple nights a week, but there are also spots where the backup is the backup for a reason. He's not a guy that you want to start 60 times a year, but he's a guy that maybe you want to start 15 times a year against a lesser team. But it's also, there's a lot that goes into it. Is there a rest spot? Is it back to back?
Yep.
Are you trying to get your goaltender longevity, and maybe you don't want to run the risk that you're going to overwork him?
Yep.
But I would say yes, there are definitely certain teams where there is just that much of a drop off between, your starter and your backup, and if your backup ends up getting the nod, you don't feel good about laying minus 150 when he's a goalie that you probably only feel good about laying minus 115 with.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I stand on it.
For sure. I just was wondering, man, because the NBA, man, they gonna hold this news until the last second.
Yeah, I would say
I think they already know. They already know if he's playing or not. Like they already know. They've been known.
The MLB, I think, is they hold us hostage, but in the opposite way, if that makes sense. Because you go in thinking that you get a starting pitcher, and it could be announced that this starting pitcher is going for all the way up until an hour before first pitch. And then he tweaks something in his warm-up, and then you're on the hook.
Yep.
Because you thought all this time that your starting pitcher was going to go, and then you got a 7:10 first pitch, and it's 6:45, and they throw in, a guy in a bullpen game. So I think every sport has situations where they kind of hold you hostage.
Yep.
It's just the NBA does it more and on a grander level than anyone else.
I'll probably agree with that for sure. I just was wondering, man.
No, it's a good thing to bring up.
Yep. We head out to our next one. This line kind of went up a little bit from this morning. We got the Bulls laying 4.5 on the road. So for me, the Bulls are so inconsistent. It's hard to know what you're going to get on a nightly basis with this team. I also think DeMar DeRozan's out. Let me make sure. Yeah, it looks like DeMar DeRozan's out. You feel comfortable laying 4.5 with the Bulls without DeMar DeRozan on the road?
I didn't.
It's questionable. He got downgraded to questionable 2 hours ago. So
I didn't feel comfortable. Well, I should say I felt queasy taking a point with them against Portland. I got a bad stomach ache if I have to lay 4.5 with the Bulls at this point. They are the Forrest Gump team. They are the box of chocolates. They are the team that you don't know what you're going to get. You're 100% right. I can see the case to be made for Chicago against Portland just because of how bad Portland has been. But 4.5 on the road is not a spot where I want to be with the Bulls. The injury report is what scares me off for the Blazers, though. I mean, no Simons, no Jeremy Grant, no Nurkic doubtful, even Lillard questionable for this game. So, yeah, this is
it's an ugly game. It's almost a throwaway. It's kind of disgusting that we're dealing with this at this point in time. The Blazers, they're not out of it. I mean, they are. The fork is already stuck in them, but they're not out of it. Chicago, they're still in the midst. They're probably not going to get in, but they're sure or have a real legitimate chance. The Blazers, they don't. They damn near got to win out to make it. But if they were going to go for it, they probably should have cut it on recently. But I don't know, man. It's a tough one. If Lillard plays, I kind of like the Blazers. I took them on the money line this morning on the jam session, but the injury report just keeps getting uglier and uglier. I probably won't bet this game. I know I don't want the Bulls laying 4.5 on the road without DeRozan. I know that's not where I want to be. Simple. So, could the Bulls still do it against this Blazers team? Yes. But I lean Blazers at home in this one. Think they could keep it competitive. And Bulls so inconsistent. How do you beat the Sixers on the road and then come home and get hammered? Like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna try to blow smoke. That was my $15 play a couple days ago. The Sixers are the kings of the revenge spot on the second half of those back-to-backs. Now 5-0. I think they've won all 5 games by 15 plus points. So,
sheesh. See, yeah. I need to be on that. I had the Bulls in both. I had them in the first game.
Yeah.
And then I think I had them in the money line in the first one, and then the second one I grabbed the points, and it didn't work out for me. So.
Yeah.
Six are kind of hammered from the start now.
So this is where it's going to be key to monitor if Damian Lillard actually is out. The Blazers 5-9 without Lillard this season. And if we haven't really seen it much since the beginning of the year, but the last two games they played without Lillard, they lost by 17 to Sacramento and 17 to New Orleans. But on the flip side, the guy that we have confirmed is out for Chicago, DeRozan, the Bulls are 1-5 straight up without him this season.
Yep.
And look at the results from them. We're just talking. We only have to go back to January to see where the 6-game sample size starts. But 3-point loss to Washington where they scored 97. They lost by 14 at home against Oklahoma City. They beat Golden State somehow. And then
where was it?
It was in Chicago.
Okay.
But still, I shouldn't say somehow, but you'd still expect you'd still expect the Warriors to put forth a better effort there.
Yeah.
Then a 15-point road loss to Memphis where they only scored 89. Then they lost by 4 at Indiana and lost by 12 at home against the Bucks.
Yep.
So no DeRozan, especially on the road, has been a hard watch for the Bulls.
I need Lillard in there tonight. Guys. I'm probably gonna bet.
Yeah.
Portland. If he doesn't play, I'm not going to bet anything. That's how I'm coming at that one. So, what other game did I say? I'm going to update y'all on that one, and I'm going to update y'all on the Celtics game. Those are 2 games I got to tweet out later. I want to see what's up with Halliburton, and I want to see what's up with Lillard. We can head out to our – and Embiid, too. I want to see what's up with him, too. We head out to our next one. It's the NBA, man. This is frustrating. We head out to our next one. We got the Suns on the road in Sacramento. The Kings have been a money-making team coming out of the break, but I like the Suns tonight, Chris. I think they're a little lull they've been in comes to an end. Am I a crazy man? And do the Kings keep rolling, or am I a shark in the Suns?
You know what? I don't blame you for taking a shot on the Suns here because 4 points with the Kings right now feels like a lot. Again, today's NBA card was very, very tough. There was not a plays that I really loved all that much. Personally, for this one, I leaned towards the Kings, only because just recent form for the Phoenix Suns hasn't been great. They're coming off of that double-digit loss to the Lakers, lost to Oklahoma City. Last time we saw them before that on the road, they lost at Golden State. And the one loss that kind of kickstarted this whole thing was that loss to Sacramento at home, where they had pretty much dominated the Kings all season long and kind of got their teeth kicked in that game. But is revenge at play here? I think it always could be at play. When you lose a game like that. If anything, for me in this game, if I weren't, I was probably going to take the Kings for a side. But I think my stronger play here, I'll go value hunting. I'll take Domantas Sabonis for a triple-double. I'll do a player prop for this game. I love the Sabonis triple-double. It's been absolute money. I'm just trying to pull up his game logs here. But
I was just going to say, just like he said in the comments, no Aiden. I could see Sabonis having a nice game. I could see it. Sabonis is another one of them sneaky guys people just don't know on a nightly basis goes crazy.
Yeah. So just and I'm not trying to filibuster here. I know
you're good.
So Jay's jam session, but
we're here all day.
But look at Sabonis's last 9 games, right? He's put out 5 triple doubles, and in 2 of the last 3 games, he's fallen 1 either rebound or assist shy of a triple double. So he's could have had 7 triple doubles in his last 9 games. He's also had a 21 rebound performance in there. He's a poor man's Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
and
I've even heard he's a Nikola Jokic that plays defense. That's what I'm.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I'm not. I shouldn't say poor man Nikola Jokic, but you know what I mean. Like Jokic gets all the spotlight. Sabonis is the guy that nobody's really talking about, but yeah, like you said, he can defend as well, and he's playing extremely well. I would want Sabonis on my team. I think Sabonis is a steal for the Kings right now.
Yep.
Just pull up what his triple doubles paying, but that's where I would go in this one.
For sure. I like the Suns, and if I were to play it, I'm taking them on the money line because I don't think if they wake up, they're not going to cover. They're going to win it straight up. They've lost 4 of their last 5. It's still the Suns, man. It's still the favorite to go to the finals. I know no Aiden. I know no Kevin Durant, which is scary against this Kings team. And I could see the Suns winning and Sabonis still getting his. I could definitely still see that. So I think we know the Sacramento Kings are trying to outscore everybody. That's just their MO. They're trying to outscore everybody. But I think the Suns can go bucket for bucket with them too, with guys like Devin Booker, Warren, Chris Paul. I think this game is going to be tight. A lot of scoring. I can see Sabonis getting his, but if I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna take the Suns. I think they in this little lull that they're in, man. This is still a really good team. Good teams bounce back. I think they do it tonight, man. I'm gonna take the Suns in that one, Chris.
Yeah, I'm seeing. To be honest, I think people are starting to catch on to the Sabonis triple double. It used to be you would get closer to plus 400, but right now I'm seeing plus 250. I still think that's a good, decent, nice amount of plus money for it.
Bubble Warren, man. I quit playing with Bubble Warren. I like Bubble Warren, man. He went crazy in the bubble that time, man. He was, man, looking like Mike, low-key. He was going dumb.
Dude, he's the guy with the passport that's like a freaking phone book with how many teams he's played for.
Yeah.
We head out. Yeah, I would go Sabonis. Yeah, plus 250.
For sure. That's not a bad place to be. Really not. I like. We can head out to our last and final game of the night, man. My guys let me down last night. Did not get it done in Los Angeles. Clips got the quick revenge, but I'm not running, man. This is my favorite money-making team, Chris. I love this team. I'm back on my Thunder buddies, the cover buddies tonight. Think they keep it competitive with the Lakers. I think they mess around, beat them outright. Last time we seen them in Los Angeles playing the Lakers, I know the Lakers won the last meeting in Oklahoma City, but last time we seen them in Los Angeles, LeBron was passing Kareem. And it was a great, historic night. I'm LeBron's biggest fan. It was a great, great thing. But I think a lot of people forget the Thunder won that game outright. The Thunder have been playing extremely great basketball. They did lose last night, man, but I think they might have been looking ahead to this one. I'm taking them plus the points, and I'm probably sprinkling some on the money line. How you feel?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. No, I'm stubborn like that. I'm not going to just jump off the Thunder because they've had a couple of clunkers here and there. This is still a Thunder team that's 43, 27, and 3 against the number this season. They're the best road underdog among teams that have played that many games. I mean, as a road underdog this season, the Thunder 19, 9, and 3, 67.9% cover percentage. On the road, let's pull the number here: 20, 13, and 3. They're not the Kings or the Knicks necessarily, but still a 60% cover percentage. And we always talk about it. This Thunder team thrives in the underdog role. As a dog of, let me see here, a dog of 3 points or less.
As of 15 minutes ago, my guy SGA just popped up on the injury report. That's questionable.
Well, the thing is, we always see him questionable in the second half of a back-to-back, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, he hasn't been there. I've been watching it all day. He just popped up, though. So do you think that's significant, or do you think it's just, what it is?
I think it's the NBA.
I think it's the NBA, too. I hope he plays tonight. I really hope he plays tonight. But even without him, I think that if the line goes up, I think the Thunder buddies can still cover. They're the Thunder buddies, not the SGA buddies. They're the Thunder buddies.
Yeah, exactly. My concern is if you're going to do anything here, I see now D'Angelo Russell probably questionable as well.
Yep, I'm seeing that now too.
I would go with Anthony Davis to have a big game on the boards. The Thunder, the worst rebounding team in the NBA in terms of defensive rebounding. They give up rebounds left and right to opposing teams. Don't be surprised if Anthony Davis has a 20-20 game here. I think if the Lakers are going to win this game, they got to have a big game from Davis. And I think there's a chance that the Lakers could win this game. But either way, I think that the Thunder buddies keep it close.
Yep, I'm still on the Thunder buddies with or without SGA. But I think he plays tonight. I do. I'm not gonna fall for these roster games that the NBA be trying to play. I think he plays, man. This game means too much to both of these teams. Like, they're both sitting at 36 and 37. Like we said, one loss sends you out of the play-in. One loss puts you right in and possibly out of it a good way. So I think this game's too important, man. I know it's a back-to-back spot, but I know he went for 30 last night. Did my guy SGA in a blowout loss, man. I think he plays tonight, though. It is their fourth road game in their last 5 games. It's not the best spot, man, but I think he plays, man. And I think they still get it done. If SGA sits Giddy triple-double is in play, for sure in play. I like that, Jamal. If SGA don't play, I still think Giddy could have a nice game and they could keep this game close. Chris, have you been paying attention to what's been going on with Austin Reeves? He been balling, but I think he been getting a whistle. He kind of don't deserve. What you think?
Don't be bashing my Austin Reeves. I'm you know what? I won't lie to you. I haven't been the biggest follower of Austin Reeves.
Yeah,
but I game respects game. I could definitely say that, you know, I have an appreciation for what he does, and you know, he definitely brings it, you know, more often than not. And he's been a nice fill-in piece. He's been a nice complementary piece that the Lakers, I think, have needed. You know, they didn't necessarily have the same they didn't necessarily have that in recent years. You know, a guy that, you know, they could rely on to be a role player that seemingly came out of nowhere, kind of, you know, a la Alex Caruso. You know, Caruso was kind of in that same boat. He had a cult following. Somebody's saying White Jordan. I mean, Brian Scalabrine was always the White Mamba, but maybe Reeves could be the White Mamba 2.0. I don't know.
Hey, man, I just think the NBA need to chill, quite honestly. I think they're making it a little too obvious they want the Lakers in the playoffs, man. I like Reeves, man, but for him to be, like top 10 in free throws attempts right now and shit like that, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm looking a little too deep, man. Maybe I'm hating. Well, no, I don't know.
Do you want to know how scared the books are right now? I do not see any triple-double props for this Lakers game.
Yeah.
So
Giddy will get a trip dub if SGA don't play. Like, he's liable.
If he doesn't play,
he's liable to do so.
If he doesn't play, I'm calling it right now. Parlay up Josh Giddey triple-double and Domantas Sabonis triple-double. I could see it.
I could see it, Chris. I like that. That's the show, man. And we go into everybody's favorite part of the show, parlay time. You know how we do it on here. You go one, I go one. We agree on one. We already got one parlay. We're going with that with the player prop parlay. Any game you loving? You want to throw in?
You know what? I will do you the honors to let you go first because I'm still picking between a couple, and we already have a couple plays that we both love for that last play at the end.
So mine would be the top plays that I'm looking at are two of the ones that I haven't put in yet that I probably should have put in. Bucks or the Warriors. Those are two that I'm looking at. I like both.
I mean, if we're going there, do we go Bucks, Warriors, Thunder Buddies?
Let's do it. Sound like a winner to me.
that could be a triple consensus, honestly.
Sound like a winner to me. Sound like a winner to me, Chris. Warriors, Bucks, Thunder Buddies on a Friday. Warriors at home, Bucks to beat up on a depleted Jazz team. And my favorite money-making cover team, the best cover team in the league, the Thunder Buddies. Let's roll it. So I still got I got my $15 NBA Jam Session play up there for sale today. I also have a college hoops best bet up there for sale. And I have a 3-pack in the NBA for sale as well. Y'all can scoop up all over at Pickdawgz Premium. Hop on a 3-day, though. You get all my plays for today, tomorrow, and Sunday, man. Try me out for the weekend or get something even longer term. Right over at Pickdawgz Premium. Chris, what you got for sale today?
Today's a small day for me. Friday was a little bit of a tricky day for me. It's been like that for a while, but still got to put something out. So I got my $15 NHL power play, and I also have a college hoops best bet tonight. Just the two plays on the board, but like Jay said, this is a great time to go on long term. The 3-day covers you for a loaded weekend. 7 days, a great option as well. The 30-day covers you for all of March Madness, MLB, NBA and NHL mixed in between.
The corner.
Yeah, exactly. So pair us up, 2-for-1 capper deal. Great deal as well. You get 2 great cappers for a great price. You can pair us up, get the best of both worlds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we get out of here, quick question. How did US come up small like that? Is Ohtani really that guy, or Trout just never come up big?
Dude, you know what? I will tell you, I watched that at-bat, that final at-bat. Shohei Ohtani is nasty.
He's that guy. I said the same thing.
I have full respect for Mike Trout. Mike Trout, he's been a bit of an injury risk in past seasons, so he'll always get that recognition as one of the best players in the major leagues, because this guy could, if he's healthy, could have a 50-60 home run season. There's no question about that. But Shohei Ohtani, just those pitches were filthy. I'm sorry. 102 slider to close out the game was just filth. And yeah, it was absolutely crazy. And I just feel bad. Sorry if anyone's an Angels fan. I feel bad that he plays for the Angels.
I know.
I think
he should be next door.
If
he goes next door, he's out of here. Like, he's already out of here, but if he goes to the Dodgers, like,
I'm going to say an unpopular statement. I'm going to say a hot take. I feel the Dodgers are kind of where some contracts go to die.
Think so?
I think you've seen people get out of there. The Dodgers are not what they were. Yes, the Dodgers were a dominant team. And I think that their best days are behind them. And I think that if you put them on the Dodgers now, you're just putting them in another Angels situation. But you're just taking away a guy like Mike Trout. You're switching him out for Mookie Betts.
Where do you think you should go then?
Here I'll answer it like this. Where do I want him to go? I want him to go to Toronto. They were in the mix. They were in the mix for him. They were in the conversation for him when all these names were coming out and talking about him. But where do I think he goes? Yeah, see, there you go. See, I was hoping you were going to do that. Where do I think he goes? Probably one of the teams that can afford him, like the Yankees.
Yeah.
It just seems like a Yankee move to do is to go after the big name. So I want him to go to Toronto. Do I think he'll go to Toronto? Probably not. That's just me hoping and wishing. But yeah, he's going to get. I wouldn't be surprised if he got more than $700 million. To be honest,
me too. Shit.
somebody. I don't remember who tweeted it there, because $500 million was the evaluation at one point. And then somebody tweeted out after the World Baseball Classic. Jeez, listen to me. The World Baseball Classic, give this man $1 billion. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a crazy number, but it's a number you could justify.
Low key. I mean, if they do it right way, man, it's baseball. They got it. And for him, he's him. Like, he's him. Best pitcher. One of the best pitchers, one of the best offensive players. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like there have been Japanese players that were highly touted that just couldn't make the jump. Guys like Matsuzaka come to mind. Hell, even I'll stick with Toronto. I'll say Yusei Kikuchi. But like you said, Shohei Ohtani has been him. He's been that guy. And he's a generational player. And there's no other way. And he's 27?
Yeah,
his best years are still to come, and that's scary because of how good he's been.
For sure, man. I just noticed the NBA show, man, but I got my guy Chris on here, so I want to talk a little MLB right quick.
Yeah.
But that's the show, man. We ran it down, so y'all could just go back and replay it. Thank you for joining me today, Chris. On a Friday, it was a huge card, man. Try to cook it up. Tried to make some money today. Hopefully, we can do that.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I love these bigger card days because it means I can talk a little bit more. I'm on a tight leash on the morning show, so this allows me to open it up a little bit and let loose a little bit. I appreciate you having me on.
For sure, man. For sure, you'll be on a frequent guest, man. You'll be on a lot more as we get closer to the playoffs, man. My favorite time of year. I love the NBA playoffs, man. Nothing like it.
Playoff, everything. I'm for it. Hockey, basketball. You got MLB kicking off. It's a great time of year, despite everything.
We're in the middle of March. How about K-State and that Gonzaga game last night? Shit.
That Gonzaga game was a classic.
Yeah.
So was K-State. I'm not talking about it, but the Angaroop, as a lot of people are calling it, from Noel to Johnson, man. That was
that's crazy.
That's going to be a play that they talk about. I didn't expect him to go reverse. I thought that was the cherry on top.
I love Johnson's story, man. Like, to turn down that $5 million and to come back and believe in yourself like this and to be on this type run, man.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. You're right, man. We're the greatest time to be alive in the middle of March, man. Let's try to make some money tonight. Yep. Thank you for joining me, Chris. Thank everybody for tuning in on this. It's a long jam session today, man. Thank all the 414 people that made it to the end, man. Thank y'all. Let's make some money today. Holla at y'all tomorrow. We're out of here. Peace.